Hello Epic Hero. Today I'm going to talk about roleplay. If you don't know, roleplay, in the case that I'm talking, roleplay means so many different things, right? You've got role-playing video games, you got role-playing board games. When I say roleplay to people, they think of so many different things. Like actors talking about like improv acting. But when I say roleplay, what I'm talking about is some very beautiful piece of fandom knowledge that I discovered several years ago. If you're not new to my channel, you probably already know that I love fandoms. I love sci-fi and fantasy franchises. I love fangirling. I love writing fanfics, fan art, all that jazz. But another third part of the fandom culture, besides fan art and fanfics, that has captured me a couple of years ago, would be role-playing. Now, role-playing in this sense, being an author, I adored it when I found out about it, is that you and some other person online, usually an anonymous, you and them pick a fandom. Could be Doctor Who, could be Star Trek, could be Star Wars, could be Lord of the Rings, could be the Chronicles of Narnia, could be Harry Potter, could be the Sherlock fandom, could be whatever fandom you want. You guys decide on a fandom, and then you and the other person decide who's going to be who in that fandom. Sometimes there'll be an original character, but for a large part of the time, you're each going to be a person in that fandom. At least one of you is going to be somebody from that fandom. Let's see if I can break this down for you. Most times when I would be doing it, I would want to do Marvel and I would want to be Loki. So I would be Loki and then they would be, say, Captain America. So how this would go is I would say, there's two kinds of roleplay actually. There's literary roleplay and then there's non-literary roleplay. In non-literary roleplay, you use splats, like you put a little asterisk and then you say walks forward and then you put another little asterisk. And so you're like, walks forward, and then you say, what are you doing? The person says, stares at you with two asterisks, and then says, I don't know, what are you doing? But what I would do is literary roleplay, where it's much more like you're co-authoring a short story or a fanfic with this person. So I would say, and I would do it in first person present tense as well. So it's like, if I'm being Loki, I would say, I stride into a room, every cell of my body alive and awake, waiting for that one sound of the creak of the hinges. When it eases forth, it doesn't startle me. It only awakens a sense of urgency as I slip behind the counter to avoid detection. And then I post it. And the other person, being Captain America, would say, when I opened the door into the room, it's not like I expected to see Loki standing right there. I knew he was hiding. But from the intel the shield had given me, I was pretty sure that he wasn't going to be able to escape without a fight. Loki, I say out loud, I know you're in here. The best thing for both of us at this point would be for you to surrender. And then she, or he, posts that. And now it's my turn to respond, and I say, his words rubbed against my nerves, as if brushing a cat's fur the wrong way up. Everything about his fake sense of justice filled me with indignation. I let a crude smile smirk across my lips and stepped out into the light. And I post that. So we go on and on and on like this. It's basically, as I've mentioned maybe before, I don't know if I've mentioned this before or not, but I don't only love writing, I also love acting. And this gives you a chance to sort of do both. You really, really slip inside that person's skin and you are sort of real time living them through the medium of writing with another person who is immediately reacting to you. Now, there's a lot of amazing things about role-playing. It helped me to improve my writing because you get immediate response. The person can sometimes respond to you just, you know, in parentheses as themselves saying, dude, I really like this part, or that part really made me laugh, or oh, haha, that was so funny, or that made me cry, or oh my goodness, what's gonna happen, and stuff like that. So, or I don't get what's going on. So you would get immediate feedback on your writing. So it was really cool, and it is really cool. The problem was me being an 18-year-old sort of nerdy, introverted, sort of depressed little teenager. I would use fandoms, as many people do, sort of a sense of escapism and sort of trying to self-discovery. So when I would write fanfics, I would certainly put a lot of myself into them, but when I would role play, it would go even further, because I would be, for lack of a better way to explain it, fulfilling my desire for these close relationships, for like close friendships that I wasn't actually making with real people, through fictional characters that the other person was playing. And I, as Loki, Captain America, Sherlock, Elphaba, Katniss, what have you, I would be living vicariously, through them. Literally, like very closely through them, to have relationships with these other people. It's very, very escapist. And I had a whole Instagram for it. I was doing role playing and just do role playing on Instagram. There were so many problems with that. Number one problem was that I didn't tell anyone about this role playing that was going on. At the time, I didn't tell my parents, didn't tell my friends, didn't tell my family. As I have since come to understand, if you have a habit in your life that you don't want to tell anyone about, or a hobby or whatever, you don't want to tell anyone about, like anyone, you're not telling anyone about it, that's probably unhealthy. Okay? Granted, teens do all kinds of things they don't tell people about, but in this case, it was just extremely unhealthy. So I understand, if you're a teen watching this, or even if you're a young adult, or even if you're a 40-year-old adult or a 56-year-old adult, and you enjoy these kinds of activities of just like living in fantasy, you're probably also, or you have in the past, you probably also understand how this can be a bad thing. Even in the beginning, when it was more innocent and silly and fun, it was very escapist. It got to the point where I would just get through the day so that I could get back to my role playing, get through the day so I could get to my role playing. And in some sense that was cool, like gave me something to look forward to when I was going through a rough time, but no, it was becoming a problem. And another problem is that you're doing it with people that you don't actually know very well, and they don't know you, like your identity, and you don't know their identity, so not good. I mean, sometimes I knew their identity, but still, they weren't people that I knew in person in real life or anything. I'm not saying that role-playing is a bad thing, but for me it was a way to not deal with actual problems in my life, right? And eventually it started turning into a much more highly sensual, highly sexual types of role plays, and that just I'm the nerd, right? That's what would happen to me. My bad sensual habit would be, written role plays online with superheroes. That would be my bad habit, wouldn't it? That would be my addiction problem, wouldn't it? But that's what it was. And when it first started getting kind of sensual, I caught it and I was like, oh dear, this isn't good. No, I won't do that anymore. Signed out, blah, blah, blah. And then I was sort of kept exploring it, blah, 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 and just not realizing how much of a bad thing it is when you have a habit like that and you're not letting anyone in your life in on it to see what it is. Thankfully, I finally was found out, and I finally did put a stop to it. It was really, really hard for me, though. It was really, really hard. How hard it was, I cried and everything for a long time, and I just kept crying when I would think about it, that I had deleted that account, deleted that whole thing. And how hard it was to delete all that is a testament to how bad it was for me, that I was putting so much of my identity in that. If it was just a writing hobby, I wouldn't have cried as much. Even if my novel that I've worked on for 7 years got deleted off the face of the earth, I wouldn't be as upset, because the problem with these role plays and these fantasies and stuff like this is that there's this relational quality to it. If you can end up putting more of your identity in this fictional characters, these fictional relationships, than in your actual character and your actual relationships. So yeah, that's a danger of role playing. Beware of that, for real, okay? beware of it. But also sort of from now on, I only role play with people that I actually know their identity and they know my identity and we know each other somewhat. I said, I don't do it that often. I just kind of don't. I set ground rules, like, I'm not doing this kind of role play, I'm not comfortable with this kind of thing, and what are you comfortable with? Stuff like that. And I probably have only done it like 3 or 4 times since whatever 2 years ago or so, when I deleted the whole thing and realized what a problem it was. Moving on from there though, there are the positive things for me from role playing, from fandom culture, from fanfics, from fan art, from fandom culture in general, is that through exploring like my fantasies, and by that I mean just what I wanted my life to look like, my daydreams and my aspirations, through exploring, let's call them that, like through exploring my daydreams and aspirations and things through the medium of fandoms, which allows a sort of a mask on you, I do think I was able to sort of explore a bit of what I wanted, you know, and what I actually enjoyed, without being like, oh, well, my life as Hope Pennington is I do homeschool, I, you know, wear these clothes, I live in this place, I have these friends, it's how my life works. But then through the skin of somebody else in fandom culture, you're able to sort of explore other options and sort of figure out what you really enjoy, just without any boundaries, because it's limitless, right? You can write whatever you want, you can draw whatever you want, you can explore more freely. And I do think it helped me to explore myself some more, and explore myself and sort of see. I'll always be grateful to fandom culture, and there'll always be a warm place in my heart of the place that helped me see more what I wanted in life, see the value and beauty in certain things. And then when I was deleted that account and transitioned out of it, I was like, well then, I'm gonna make my life like that. You know, I'm gonna find those happy little moments that I would write with just sweet moments with like multiple characters, like the Avengers or whatever, hanging out and having fun. It was obviously something, if I was writing that, it's obviously something that I wanted. Somebody that had their own career, that could proudly, like on Enterprise, a yeoman that could proudly walk through the halls and know what she's gonna do with her life and know all these things. The confidence there, it's obviously something that I wanted. And some of the angsty, depression-y stuff that people were working through in there, trying to figure out the answer to in the fanfics, was obviously something that I was struggling with, that I needed to find the answer to. So I just had to find the confidence in me, I guess, to become my own hero, and to, instead of putting all my identity and my exploration into those heroes of those stories, and look for that in my own life. Look for exploring those risky things, those exciting things, those new things, instead of in a fandom world, in my world. Which can sound super scary, I totally get it. Especially if you're a teenager and you love fan culture, because it allows escapism, it allows you to explore. I totally 100% get that, obviously. But, and it seems like so scary to explore that in your own life. But I would challenge you that it is worth it. That you are as cool and epic as these heroes that you love in these fandom stuff. And you can, like, explore that stuff in your own life. Well, that's been enough rambling for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Epic Place vlog, my vlog. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what your relationship with fandom culture is, the negatives, the positives, the in-betweens, and hit subscribe if... This is where it is. This is definitely where it is. Hit subscribe if you want to see 4 videos a year. To see the last one from 10 years ago, click over there. No, click subscribe if you want to subscribe. And hit the bell if you want to be notified when I make new videos. Until I see you again, please always remember that we are epic heroes today and every day of our lives. And our lives are awesome because we're awesome and this world is awesome. take care of yourself, love yourself, forgive yourself, and yay. All good things. Okay, see you next time. Bye.